Welcome back to our daily world news roundup. I am your host, and today we are tracking several massive developments from around the globe. First, tensions between the United States and Iran have reached a critical boiling point after a series of direct military clashes, sparking immediate economic fallout at home and prompting President Trump to call for a federal gas tax holiday. Meanwhile, a major legal and political storm is brewing as the Justice Department reportedly opens a criminal inquiry into EJeanCarroll. In Virginia, federal prosecutors have revealed a stunning case of high-level theft, accusing a former senior CIA official of hoarding $40 million in stolen gold bars. We are also monitoring a devastating industrial disaster in Washington state that officials fear could be the deadliest in its modern history, and a controversial new education bill in Ohio that is dividing communities over the role of religion in public classrooms. We have a lot of ground to cover today, so let us dive right into our top stories. We begin today in the Middle East, where a highly dangerous escalatory cycle is unfolding between Washington and Tehran. The United States military has launched targeted strikes against an Iranian military site, specifically identifying the target as an Iranian ground control station. This action represents a direct attempt by American forces to disrupt Iranian military operations. However, Tehran was quick to respond. The Iranian Revolutionary Guards announced that they targeted an American airbase in retaliation for what they described as new U.S. attacks. While the Guards did not disclose the precise geographic location of the targeted U.S. airbase, they issued a stern warning. If the United States carries out more attacks, Iran will respond with further force. This exchange marks the second direct military clash between the two nations in this recent wave of hostility, raising deep concerns among international observers about the potential for a full-scale regional conflict. The ripple effects of this military conflict are being felt directly by American consumers at the pump. As the war with Iran drives global energy markets into volatility, the nationwide price of gasoline in the United States has soared. Facing intense domestic pressure over rising fuel costs, President Donald Trump announced on Monday that he supports suspending the federal gas tax for a period of time. Speaking to reporters, Trump expressed his desire to implement a temporary national gas tax holiday to alleviate the financial burden on American drivers as the war drives up fuel prices. However, while the proposal may sound appealing to motorists, it faces an uphill battle. Industry analysts and political observers note that the initiative is staring down a steep climb in Congress, where lawmakers must approve any changes to federal tax rates. With deep political divisions in Washington, securing the necessary legislative support to pause the federal gas tax remains a major challenge, leaving Americans to grapple with high fuel prices as the geopolitical conflict drags on. Turning now to major legal and political developments, a highly unusual and controversial move by the Justice Department has sent shockwaves through the political landscape. Federal prosecutors have reportedly launched a criminal probe into EJeanCarroll, the writer whose accusations of sexual assault and subsequent civil lawsuits against Donald Trump yielded significant legal victories. This development has sparked intense public debate, with prominent media commentators sounding off on the sheer gravity of the situation. Critics and legal analysts are raising questions about the motivations behind the probe, given that Trump's Justice Department is leading a criminal investigation into a woman who successfully sued the president in civil court. This criminal inquiry marks a dramatic and highly politicized escalation in the long-running legal battle between Carroll and Trump, and we will be watching closely as more details emerge regarding the specific nature of the allegations the Justice Department is investigating. At the same time, President Trump is continuing his aggressive legal offensive against the media, though he has hit a significant roadblock in one of his highest-profile cases. A federal judge has officially dismissed Trump's massive $10 billion defamation lawsuit against the Wall Street Journal and its publisher, Dow Jones, which is owned by Rupert Murdoch. The lawsuit stemmed from an article published by the Journal asserting certain claims about U.S. policy and actions. In a decisive ruling, U.S. District Judge Darren Gales dismissed the case and took the additional step of barring Trump's legal team from using the discovery process to search for evidence of actual malice on the part of the newspaper. Undeterred by the dismissal, Trump has filed a revised defamation lawsuit against the Wall Street Journal's publisher, attempting to keep the legal battle alive. The case highlights the ongoing tension between the president and major news organizations, as well as the high legal bar required to prove defamation against public figures under American law. In Virginia, federal prosecutors have unveiled a criminal case that sounds like the plot of a Hollywood heist movie. A shocking federal raid on a home in Virginia has uncovered a literal treasure trove of stolen government property. Investigators seized more than 300 gold bars, with an estimated value exceeding $40 million, hidden inside the residence of a former senior CIA official. In addition to the massive hoard of gold, federal agents also recovered a collection of luxury watches and other high-value assets during the raid, which occurred on May 18. According to prosecutors, the former senior employee did not just steal tens of millions of dollars from the intelligence agency. He also constructed an elaborate web of lies to secure and maintain his high-ranking position. The government alleges that the suspect repeatedly lied about his military service and educational credentials to elevate his standing within the agency. The discovery of such a massive amount of physical gold inside a private home has stunned the intelligence community, raising serious questions about internal oversight and security protocols at one of the world's most secretive agencies. The former official now faces severe federal charges as prosecutors work to trace how such a massive amount of gold was systematically siphoned from the CIA without immediate detection. Moving to the Pacific Northwest, a devastating industrial accident in Washington state has left a community in mourning and state officials searching for answers. On Wednesday morning, emergency officials confirmed that the death toll from a catastrophic chemical tank rupture at a paper mill in Longview has climbed to 2. The incident, which unleashed a hazardous wave of chemicals, has devastated the local workforce and prompted a massive state-level investigation. Washington Governor Jay Inslee spoke out about the severity of the incident, warning that the Longview paper mill disaster could ultimately be recognized as the deadliest industrial tragedy in modern Washington state history. State regulators, emergency responders, and industrial safety experts remain on the scene, working to stabilize the area, determine the exact cause of the tank failure, and ensure there is no ongoing threat to the surrounding community. As families grieve the loss of the 2 workers, the disaster has reignited intense debates over industrial safety regulations, chemical storage standards, and the enforcement of workplace safety laws in high-risk manufacturing environments. Finally, we look at a growing debate over the separation of church and state in American public schools. In Ohio, a pastor-turned-lawmaker is championing a highly controversial piece of legislation known as the Charlie Kirk American Heritage Act. The bill, which has quickly become a lightning rod for political debate, would explicitly permit public school teachers to instruct students on the positive impact of Judeo-Christian values in United States history. Supporters of the bill argue that Judeo-Christian principles played a foundational role in the nation's establishment, and that students deserve a comprehensive understanding of how these values shaped American culture and governance. However, opponents of the legislation have expressed deep concern, arguing that the bill crosses the line of constitutional boundaries regarding the separation of church and state. Critics warn that the act could be used to promote specific religious viewpoints over others within secular public education, leading to exclusion and division in classrooms. The debate in Ohio reflects a broader national struggle over curriculum content, religious expression, and how history is taught to the next generation. That wraps up our world news coverage for today. These stories remind us of how deeply interconnected our global politics, domestic policies, and community struggles really are. If you found this update informative, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our daily world news briefings. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below on any of today's stories, from the escalating conflict with Iran to the shocking gold heist in Virginia. Thank you for watching, and we will see you back here tomorrow.